Are you exhausted all the time, no matter how much you sleep? In this video, I'm going to reveal an ancient Shaolin practice called the tree-hugging pose that Master Shi Heng Yi uses to eliminate chronic fatigue and restore your energy levels. You absolutely have to know this. Hey everyone, and welcome to Revitamen. We're going to cover everything you need to know about this incredible healing technique, but make sure you stick around until the end, because the final secret about how long you need to hold this pose is the one that changed everything for me, and I guarantee it will shock you. All right, let's not waste any time. The most powerful benefit of the tree-hugging pose, and we're starting with a huge one, is its ability to activate your body's natural energy circulation system through something called your meridians. Let me explain why this is so critical. In traditional Chinese medicine and Shaolin practices, your body has invisible energy pathways called meridians that carry what's known as qi, or life force energy, throughout your entire system. When you're chronically fatigued, these meridians become blocked or stagnant, like a river that's been dammed up. The tree-hugging pose, which Master Shi Heng Yi has practiced and taught for years at the Shaolin Temple Europe, specifically opens these pathways by creating a unique circuit in your body. When you stand with your arms rounded in front of you as if hugging an invisible tree, you're actually connecting specific acupressure points on your fingertips with energy centers in your torso and legs. This connection allows the stagnant energy to start flowing again, flushing out the blockages that have been draining your vitality for months or even years. If you can just understand this one principle, you'll already be ahead of 90% of people who are struggling with chronic fatigue and don't know where to turn. And if you thought that was a game changer, you have no idea what's coming. The physiological mechanism behind why this actually works on a cellular level is even more fascinating, and we'll reveal that at the end. Okay, moving on to the second major benefit, which is how this pose completely resets your nervous system and pulls you out of chronic stress mode. Most people with chronic fatigue are stuck in what's called sympathetic nervous system dominance. This is your body's fight or flight mode, and when you're locked in this state for months or years, your adrenal glands become exhausted, your cortisol levels go haywire, and you feel tired but wired at the same time. You know that feeling where you're exhausted but you can't actually relax or fall asleep. That's sympathetic dominance. The tree-hugging pose does something remarkable to shift you into parasympathetic mode, which is your rest, digest, and heal state. When you hold this specific posture, several things happen simultaneously. First, the slight bend in your knees and the forward tilt of your pelvis activates your psoas muscle in a very particular way. Your psoas is directly connected to your nervous system, and when it's engaged gently like this, it sends signals to your brain that you're safe and can let go of the stress response. Second, the rounded position of your arms and the gentle opening of your chest creates what's called a heart-opening posture that stimulates your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is like the master control switch for your parasympathetic nervous system, and when it's activated, your heart rate slows down, your breathing deepens automatically, and your body finally gets the signal that it's okay to start healing and restoring energy instead of constantly being on high alert.
Next up is the postural realignment effect that most people completely overlook when they first learn about this practice. Chronic fatigue isn't just about being tired. It's often accompanied by terrible posture, because when you're exhausted, your body literally starts to collapse forward. Your shoulders round, your head juts forward, your chest caves in, and this creates a vicious cycle. Bad posture compresses your lungs, so you can't take full breaths, which means less oxygen to your cells, which means less energy production, which makes you more tired, which makes your posture worse. The tree-hugging pose breaks this cycle in a brilliant way. When you stand in this position with your feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, tailbone tucked under, and arms rounded in front of you at chest height, you're forced into a position of structural integrity. Your spine naturally finds its proper alignment. Your chest opens up, even though your arms are forward, creating space for your lungs to expand fully. Your head balances directly over your spine instead of jutting forward. And here's what's incredible. After holding this pose for even just 5 minutes a day, your body starts to remember this aligned position. Your muscles develop the strength and the memory to maintain better posture throughout your day, which means more oxygen, better circulation, and significantly more energy without you having to think about it. Another common benefit that Master Shi Heng Yi emphasizes is the mental clarity and focus that comes from this practice. When you're chronically fatigued, brain fog is one of the most frustrating symptoms. You can't think clearly, you can't make decisions, you can't remember simple things. This happens because chronic fatigue is often linked to inflammation in your brain and poor blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. The tree-hugging pose addresses this through something called active meditation. Unlike sitting meditation, where you might fall asleep if you're exhausted, this standing meditation keeps you present and engaged because your muscles are working to hold the position. This gentle muscular engagement increases blood flow throughout your entire body, including up to your brain. At the same time, the meditative aspect of holding still and focusing on your breath activates your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive function, decision-making, and mental clarity. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that when you hold this pose, you should visualize energy flowing through your body like water flowing through a bamboo tube, smooth and unobstructed. This visualization isn't just New Age fluff. Neuroscience research shows that visualization activates the same brain regions as actually performing an action, which means you're literally training your brain to improve its energy flow and circulation patterns just by imagining it while in the pose. Now let's talk about the mitochondrial boost that happens at the cellular level with consistent practice.
Your mitochondria are the powerhouses of your cells. They're the tiny organelles that produce ATP, which is the actual usable energy currency that your body runs on. In chronic fatigue, mitochondrial function is often severely impaired. Your mitochondria can't produce enough ATP, so even though you're eating food and getting nutrients, your cells can't convert that into actual energy you can use. The tree-hugging pose helps restore mitochondrial function through a process called hormesis. Hormesis is when a mild stress on your system actually makes it stronger. When you hold this pose, especially for longer durations like 10 to 20 minutes, your muscles are under constant tension without movement. This creates a specific type of metabolic stress that signals your mitochondria to adapt and become more efficient. It's similar to how high-intensity interval training improves mitochondrial density, but without the exhaustion that comes from intense exercise, which is crucial when you're already dealing with chronic fatigue. Additionally, the deep breathing that naturally occurs when you're holding this pose increases oxygen delivery to your cells, and oxygen is the key ingredient your mitochondria need to produce ATP. More oxygen plus stronger mitochondria equals more energy at the fundamental cellular level. The next aspect is something Master Shi Heng Yi calls the rooting effect, which connects you to the Earth's natural electromagnetic field. This might sound esoteric, but there's actually legitimate science behind it called earthing or grounding. Your body runs on electrical signals. Your nervous system, your heartbeat, your brain waves, everything is electrical. The Earth has a natural negative charge, and when you make direct contact with it, electrons flow from the ground into your body, neutralizing free radicals and reducing inflammation. Now, Master Shi Heng Yi teaches the tree-hugging pose outdoors whenever possible, ideally with bare feet on natural ground like grass, soil, or sand. This isn't just about being in nature for mental health benefits, though that helps too. It's about creating a physical electrical connection between your body and the earth. The standing position with slightly bent knees and your weight distributed evenly creates maximum surface contact between your feet and the ground, optimizing this electron transfer. Modern research has shown that grounding reduces cortisol levels, improves sleep quality, decreases pain and inflammation, and increases energy. All of these are exactly what people with chronic fatigue desperately need. Moving forward, we need to discuss the lymphatic drainage benefit that happens when you hold this specific posture. Your lymphatic system is your body's waste removal and immune system, but unlike your cardiovascular system, which has your heart to pump blood, your lymphatic system has no pump. It relies entirely on muscle movement and gravity to circulate lymph fluid throughout your body. When you're chronically fatigued, you tend to be sedentary, which means your lymphatic system becomes sluggish, toxins build up, inflammation increases, and you feel even more tired. The tree-hugging pose creates a perfect environment for lymphatic drainage. The slight squat position with bent knees engages your largest muscle groups, your quads and glutes, which creates a pumping action on the lymph vessels in your legs, where a lot of stagnation occurs. The position of your arms rounded at chest level keeps your armpits slightly open, which is important because you have major lymph nodes in your armpits, and keeping them open allows fluid to drain more effectively. Plus, the deep breathing that accompanies this pose creates pressure changes in your thorax that literally pump lymph fluid through the vessels in your chest and abdomen. After practicing this pose regularly, people often notice that the puffiness or swelling they had, especially in their legs and face, starts to disappear as their lymphatic system begins functioning properly again.
And the second to last benefit is another incredibly important one: the dramatic reduction in chronic pain that often accompanies chronic fatigue. If you have chronic fatigue, there's a very high chance you also deal with chronic pain, whether it's back pain, neck pain, joint pain, or widespread muscle aches. This isn't a coincidence. Chronic fatigue and chronic pain are deeply interconnected through inflammation, poor circulation, and nervous system dysregulation. The tree-hugging pose addresses chronic pain through multiple mechanisms simultaneously. First, the gentle isometric muscle engagement, where your muscles are working but not moving, releases endorphins, which are your body's natural painkillers. Second, the improved circulation we talked about earlier means more oxygen and nutrients reach painful, inflamed tissues, helping them heal. Third, the parasympathetic activation reduces the central sensitization that happens in chronic pain, where your nervous system becomes hypersensitive and amplifies pain signals. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that pain is often a manifestation of blocked energy, and when you open those energy pathways through this pose, the pain naturally diminishes. I've seen people who have dealt with debilitating back pain for years find significant relief after just 2 weeks of daily practice. This is something I see almost everyone with chronic fatigue experiencing, and it's sabotaging not just their energy levels, but their entire quality of life. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the #1 secret that Master Shi Heng Yi teaches about the tree-hugging pose that will absolutely transform your results is the precise duration and frequency you need to practice for maximum healing of chronic fatigue. Most people try this pose for 1 or 2 minutes and wonder why they don't see dramatic results. Here's what Master Shi Heng Yi discovered through decades of practice at the Shaolin Temple. The magic number is 20 minutes per day, done consistently for at least 40 days. Here's why this specific time frame is so critical. For the first 5 minutes of holding the pose, your body is simply adjusting and fighting against the position because it's unfamiliar. Your mind is restless, your muscles are complaining, and you're not really getting the deep benefits yet. Between minutes 5 and 10, your body starts to settle in. Your breathing naturally deepens and slows. Your nervous system begins to shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic, and the energy starts to circulate more freely. But the real transformation happens between minutes 10 and 20.
This is when your body enters what Master Shi Heng Yi calls the healing zone. Your brainwaves shift into an alpha state similar to deep meditation. Your body releases a cascade of healing hormones and neurotransmitters. Your mitochondria receive the sustained signal they need to start adapting and becoming more efficient. And the deep energetic blockages that have been causing your chronic fatigue finally begin to release. Anything less than 20 minutes and you're just scratching the surface. And why 40 days? Because research shows it takes approximately 40 days of consistent practice for your nervous system to rewire, for new habits to become automatic, and for the physiological changes to become permanent rather than temporary. This is the exact protocol that has helped countless practitioners at the Shaolin Temple overcome chronic fatigue, chronic pain, and restore their vitality to levels they hadn't experienced in years. So there you have it, the ancient Shaolin tree-hugging pose and how it heals chronic fatigue through meridian activation, nervous system reset, postural realignment, mental clarity, mitochondrial boost, grounding effects, lymphatic drainage, pain reduction, and most importantly, the 20-minute daily practice for 40 days that makes it all work. Now, I have a question for you. Have you been dealing with chronic fatigue? And if so, how long have you been struggling with it? Be honest and let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and I want to hear your story. If you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.